servers are there, web app TV server, their functionality. We'll understand the difference between thin client and thick client. Then we'll also understand the difference between tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 architectures. We'll see some architecture examples. So this is going to be the 3-day topic from now, right? So let us start. So server, right? So hope you all have the idea of servers, right? Server is like it's the an area. Basically, a server is a hardware unit where a big CPU is there, okay, which has a very high processing processor, the RAMs, the storage, right? And in that application component, or you can say application is kept, and we access that application. Okay, so you must have seen servers, their photos somewhere or in YouTube. Means some videos they are like big machines. Okay, and racks are there, and actually, yeah, and that is where inside that OS will be there and other components, the hardware part, the CPU part, the processor part, the memory, the storage area, right? So like that, there will be many such machines, right? So servers are what? It's just an extended version or highly proficient version of our like laptop. So like our laptop is a small server only. Uh, if we just try to understand, right? So in laptop we have our OS, memory, CPU, and then we do the work, right? So same way they are also the same machine, same kind. Only difference is they are very highly proficient, or you can say very advanced, right? The component, the CPU component, the hardware unit, and the memory, the RAM memory, the ROM memory, right? RAM is for what? Memory, correct? And ROM is the storage area, we say, a storage, right? Hard disk, and that connectivity. And then inside that also there is a OS, generally Windows Server OS or Ubuntu, the Linux OS will be there. And then inside that the application are kept, and the application they are connected through internet with some setup, and we access that application through web, right, through internet. Now there are many different kind of servers for different purposes. So such big machines, right? Uh, when they are kept at a location, that location is called data center. Okay, data center earlier, like 10 years back, not 10, yeah, almost 10 years you can say, or it's not that much far also, 7 to 8 years back. It's not, it's still 10 years completed. Yeah, 10 year we can say. So 10 years back, every organization used to have their own data center. Organization here means the any product you take, Flipkart, Amazon, or any small product also. Like if they have designed some application, it has to be kept somewhere, right? So that it works 24 by 7, right? Servers are working. Our laptop cannot work that much. It will collapse, right? If you keep on using that, if you do not give it rest. So as I said, the servers are big, uh, highly advanced machine. They have to keep on running for 365 days, right? Like that, 24 by 7. Okay. So somewhere we have to keep that, and so that people can access that application. So that is called data center, and making a data center is very costly affair. First it has to be secure, then many coolings and many things are there. Okay, it has to be cooled because 24 by 7 the machine is running, the big machines is running, right? And there are many machines like that. So what happened then? So all people used to have their own data centers, right? All people in the sense, the any organization who have some application which the people use, any application. But then what happened? Then a technology advance came, and this cloud thing came in picture. Okay, cloud, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle, right, like that. So these are four famous clouds services. Okay, so cloud services, what they did, they actually cloud is nothing. People say cloud. They just start renting their server or their cloud, their data center. So it's like that. I will explain. Somewhere like in cities, you must have seen dormitories are there. Okay. There are there are PG rooms, or you can say hotel rooms, and then we have a dormitories kind of concept also. So in dormitories, what will happen? Uh, the beds will be stacked one upon another, right? Or generally in schools also it will be there. School dormitories, one upon another bed will be there, and 3 4 people will be sleeping up top of that, right? That concept. So in that way, how they are making profit? They are saving the space, and they are allowing 3 to 4 people sleep on one upon each, right, top of that, using this concept, right? And they are making money. Okay, they are making money. Space remains same, right? So in one space where one people can sleep, now 4 people is sleeping. Got the point? And so that is the concept of dormitory. So same way, same thing they did. If you observe all these 4 5 companies, right, which are the biggest company, they are from USA, right? Why they are from USA? First, we have to understand. They are from USA because USA is highly secured country in today's world. Okay, and technologically advanced also, right? So security is there first thing. Okay. If you are maintaining a data center, suppose anywhere, everywhere you cannot maintain. Hacks can happen, attacks can happen. Okay, and then cooling facility and all those things, 24/7 power backup, and many things is needed. So if you observe, all these 4 companies are from there only, right? All, or if you take any further names also, because of some regions, right? So what they doing? They are making huge data center there. Okay. Now you in that that is also data center. Okay. So in that they are keeping the CPUs, big CPUs. Right? That CPU is what? The machine, big machines, the server machine. And then they have set up a stuff infrastructure in that, uh, a mechanism in that, that they will only rent you uh, certain amount of CPU to you. Okay. Suppose I have a big hall, I have 1,000 servers there. You need 100 of them. You can rent it out, right? Got the point. So that way, you do not have to worry about this security and all those things. You have to just pay the rent, and you are utilizing. Rest they are worrying, right? The 24 by hours by 7 security, power backup, cooling stuff. They are worrying about that, right? So you got the point. Dormitory thing. So this is how the business. So cloud is nothing. Okay. Cloud is just in the backend. If you go and see, it's their server only. They are renting the server to us. The renting mechanism has become online. Okay. So if you have seen AWS interface or Azure interface, what they do, suppose they spin up a server to you, right? On through online. That is what through online we interact, right? That is how it has become. Everything has become online. They spin up 2 or 3 servers to you, and they will keep the application. Then they will just give to you. Okay, this is your, and you just go and start working about that. Forget about other thing. So like the bed thing, one bed or 2 bed they have given to you. The rest of bed will be to it will be given to other. So now that is the reason now every company is migrating towards AWS or Azure. Everything has, why it has migrated to cloud. They're just renting that space. They're just renting the cloud, that servers which they are providing, and rest they are worrying about that. We do not have to worry, right? Because extra headache is not needed. Okay, and you use and you pay the bill, right? So anything, if people are ever like, why I'm discussing this is like many people get confused. A cloud application, how we do the performance testing of cloud application. There is no difference between normal application and cloud application. Every application nowadays is cloud application only. Okay, correct. They are earlier application used to happen to be there in our own data center, and setup mechanism are a little different. Now everything is on cloud only. They have rented the server through AWS or Azure. That these are the famous cloud that is used. Right? Their application is there, and we are using. So perform. What is the difference? There is no difference. Only thing, the mechanism of accessing and the thing has changed little bit. Right? So there is nothing called a cloud application or a normal application. Everything normal application and everything is cloud application. Okay, got the idea? At the end of the day, it is application only, and it is kept on some servers, right? Right, 3 4 5 or 100 server. How only thing, we access you, suppose you develop an application and you have 100 user and you want to get it used, right? So you are not going to make your own data set. You will just go and buy a plan from AWS. How many server you need? Let us say 5 server you will be needing. With which configuration? Everything they are giving now. Right? You do not have to worry. Everything is there. Like Intel Xeon processor servers, like whatever the highest processing server, whatever the RAM, how much RAM you need for each server, everything you can just spin up, spin down. That every facility is there. Okay, I need 64 GB RAM or like that, more on that. Like which OS you want, everything is there. Everything you can just take from them and you can utilize. And just for that usage you are paying. So you'll take 5 server, you will deploy your application and you just make the configuration changes and your application is ready. People can now access it. 1,000 people are using that. Okay, and but at the end of the day, yeah, it's just hosted. You must have heard of a name called hosting, right? So hosting is a word used just only for website, but generally, yeah, for application we do not use the word. But in a way, if you think, a website is also application, or application is also a website. So whole thing is hosted, right? Hosted on the AWS cloud. So this is called cloud. There's nothing such separate thing, right? It's cloud. So everything has went online, and they are worrying about, because they will, and rest they will worry cooling. So if you want more knowledge on this, you can just do a YouTube video, search a YouTube video on how a Facebook data center works, how a Google data center looks, how a Microsoft data center looks, right? Like that, how AWS data center looks. You will get a more clear picture. Okay? So got the idea, right? What is cloud? Cloud is nothing, just the services, this server renting services. And so earlier there was a thing called in-house data center. Means in-house means we have to maintain all this service in our locality somewhere, and then uh, but that concept is now going on, and this cloud has come. So in a way, if you uh, try to understand, the basic thing is that is also in-house. Somewhere they are there. It's nothing that it's a magic. Okay. Suppose if you have seen any AWS console, so suppose there is a server there. So do you think it's a magic? Somewhere that hardware is there. Somewhere that memory is there. Somewhere that hard disk is required. So it's not that uh, to everything to work we need the hardware. Correct. So somewhere that hardware is there. Okay. On AWS only, suppose you have one server. So we only see the software part, but somewhere that hardware is there. Hardware is needed anyhow. You make a plan. You purchase their plan. That is what AWS builds the AWS plan, right? To rent out a server. So hardware thing on all thing, this they are making available to you, and you are just like using them. How much you want, what you want to take, and pay the bill for you that, and you use that. Right? Rest they are worry. So at the end of the day, everything is hardware, right? And in that OS will be there, and in that applications will be there. And like that, big hardware, the server stuff, you can have depending, you can have as many depending on your requirement. So that is what cloud and servers. Now, so many types of servers are there. Application DB. Will these three are important, so we will understand more on them later on. Now, next. Protocol. So protocol is a definition for a set of rules and guidelines for communicating data between two devices or between client and the user. Client here means yeah, between client or user and the server. Okay, client means user and the server. Okay. So there are different kind of protocols. It's a common name. Um, so in that also there are two types like software kind of protocol, hardware kind of protocol. So you must have seen Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. All these are protocols. Right? Two devices connect with each other. So on software level, we have these kind of protocols. So this is for web microservices and APIs. This is used for emailing. This is used for file upload, download, FTP, file transfer protocol is used. So like that, uh, some are there. So out of this is very famous because this is used in day-to-day activity in IT world. Okay, PTLC lifecycle. So see, like we have software development lifecycle, SDLC, must have seen or have heard of. Then we have software testing lifecycle. We have bug lifecycle also, right? Like that, we have PTLC lifecycle. Lifecycle means actually nothing but a set of steps that are needed to perform that whole work or whole job or whole to perform that whole task, right? It's nothing that life cycle means something is going to expire. No, there are some steps that needs to be performed one after another in sequence, right? A standard steps, right? So whenever we are doing performance testing of any application, so that's why we have a PTLC life cycle. So life cycles are what some steps are there in sequence, which are standardized and that needs to be followed. It's not mandatory to be followed, but yeah, in sequence things are done. That's all. This PTLC thing everywhere is not followed. Right? It's just a hype, you can say. But since these are steps, we'll understand. So there are 6 to 7 steps or phases involved in that. First one is non-functional requirement gathering and documentation. So non-functional requirement gathering. So see, suppose if you have little bit of functional, so those people who are working or those people who have taken might have taken little bit training on manual or functional testing. So there also we have a functional testing document or that is called BRD document, right? Where we just write the what is the requirement from the suppose you are going to test an application. So there will be some requirement. You have to test it and you have to test in this manner of inputs and outputs, right? So it's a detailed 2-3 page of document that we prepare, right? So same way, we have a requirement gathering stuff in our functional testing. Sorry, this in performance testing also. Since performance testing is a type of non-functional testing, so NFR name is given non-functional requirement gathering. But actually, generally, if you understand, it's a actually performance testing requirement gathering. If the name should be that should be correct because in non-functional security testing also comes in picture. But people have coined this word, and it's going at it as it is. So basically, in this, what we do. So in this, generally, on a just a brief, right, because we'll not go in that much detail now. Many things are there. Until unless we finish the course, this is not easy to understand. So, in a on an example note, suppose there is an application and some it needs to be tested from performance testing point of view. So we'll write up so anything that should be documented. We have to write it somewhere. So document it. So that's what document. So in that we write some stuffs. What is the application? About the application, the nature of the application. Okay. What technologies are used? Um, to develop that application, right? What are the functionalities of that? Okay. Then what needs to be tested with how many users? Some other, as I said, these terms will be there. So it's what I said we it's not feasible now to discuss them all because slowly we are going to learn them. So all those things we take input from the person who will be responsible, uh, who knows that application. That is, um, that person can be at manager level also, or a uh, project manager, people say, or a technical lead. Okay, means though that person who knows about that application, from that this information is taken and written down, right? So in that, as I said, many other thing will be also there. Like there is a thing called inner scope, outer scope. Inner scope thing is what things will be tested. Outer scope will be which will not be tested or which cannot be tested. That will be out of the scope of this testing, right? So that we write. So a simple PTLC dog look like this, right? You can have this letter small one. So like that, many people prepare it. This is a little bit detail. That much is also not there. And so slowly, as I said, we will understand like what is concurrent and other what is user load, what is transaction. So it's not feasible to discuss it now because this PTLC requirement gathering normal like it is done by experienced person. So like who have at least 6 to 7 years or 8 years of experience, then because they get all the knowledge and then only it is done, right? So again, so that is what it's done, that is the process and it is documented. But as I said, it's not that much mandatory, it's just a hype. Many company in many um, organization, things just gets started. Okay, they will just come and give you the application, they will just set up one demo, means a meeting kind of thing. They will explain that this is the application, these are the things, this is how it works. We want this to be tested. Now you test it. Simple. Okay, that's what. This is how in reality things work. There is nothing called a real time NFR gathering, and we are having a proper step. It doesn't work like that. They have just make it to looks cool, but in real time, it's very simple. Okay, the process is very simple. Unnecessary um, just making the things hype, right? So this step was involved, but that is what it is done. Okay, and it is done by generally senior level people because you know the terminology, you know the things, right? So that you can ask from that person who is giving that application test the idea. Okay, how many servers are there? All these things. Okay, where the servers are involved, right? Which tool is we should prefer to do the performance testing and all those things, right? Any credential details, many things are asked. Okay, and they are documented. Where that application is, how with how many number of user you want it to be tested, right? What is the response time you are expecting? Okay, right. So it's just the information about that application and with some extra stuff and we document it. So that is called NFR gathering and documentation. Then we have test strategy or test planning. And once this is finalized, we have this. Okay, test strategy or test plan. In this, once this is finalized, here the senior people in that organization or in that project, they decide what to do next, right? Like who will work on what protocol we will be using, which tool to be used, right? The infrastructure or environment setup where the this work will be going on. This all planning, right? And then we start doing the work, which is what test design or test scripting. Okay, so again, this is also simple step. Now, yes.
Sir, is there any difference between test strategy and test planning?
No, no, same thing. So I have written a word called or. Same.
No, actually, in my organization, they asked me to prepare test strategy, then they asked me to prepare test plan. So I'm little bit confused. Is it same or different?
As a test plan, actually, I'll tell you what this test plan is. Okay, what they meant by test plan. Here, strategy or test planning is your approach, right? Uh, how we will be doing that and all those things. The test plan that they are referring is which will be looking, which is called a test case. Test case that is also called as test plan. So you prepare all the transaction like how we do in functional, right? We prepare our test cases and we test them one by one, right? So that will become the part of test scripting. Test plan involves like let us say like this. Suppose this is one application. So you'll prepare the transactions, right? Name, what transaction you are going to they are involved, any remarks, right? Transaction name, uh, the endpoints for each transaction that you will be testing. So it becomes so this is plan okay, which they are referring. So this is different thing. It's about application. You just prepare the list of the uh, transactions, the other thing, the endpoints related to that, right? And yeah, you document that. So that this test plan is also known as test case thing. Now, next we have right. So hope you got the idea. Now we have test design or test script. Test design or test scripting is the phase where the real thing starts. These all are just, as per me, they are just childish thing. Actually, who have designed this stuff, like I'll tell you, the service-based companies. For them, this approach works. Okay? Because they are providing service, so they will try to get a project. So when they will try to get a project, they will prepare a template or in a proper way, as in a standardized way, okay, to the client means to from whom they will get the project, right? So here client means suppose any fresher has joined here in this batch, so client means the owner of the product or the owner of the application, right? So they suppose some client or some product is there which needs to be tested, so they will approach a vendor mean who the those companies, right? And then any vendor they will choose. Now this vendor will will prepare a plan, then they will approach it. So they will set up multiple meetings, right? So that they looks happy, and then they give the project to this vendor, this company, and then they test it out. This is how service-based industry works, IT industry. So this is what unnecessary hype. You have to prepare this thing, then show to them, then they will come back, any changes, all these things, right? So a standardized process for them. In most of the company, if you are inside the organization, this is not followed because you are not going to get the already project is there and you are working. So there people will directly come and ask you or get you involved. Hey, we have this application, we need to do the performance test. Just start to like that. Okay. So the things is very simple in real time. Few people have make it complicated unnecessarily. Now So right, so this is the thing. So these vendors are also, they're like consultancies companies. Them, this that they do that. Okay. Now moving to the next test design or test scripting. So test design and test scripting is the phase where the real thing starts, where you identify the you identify and document the business or test scenario. Okay, and the transactions, like how I have shown it, that is called test plan also. Test plan. So hope this will make the thing clear, right? So the same, the Excel that I have shown, right? So that kind of thing. So that is prepared. Once that is prepared, we once that is identified and documented, right? That document is prepared. Uh, then we start working on the tool. Okay? The real picture comes using the tool. We start working on that. Now in that also two phases are there. So when we start working on the tool, we have three phases. First thing in the tool starts with recording. Uh, so recording is what? It's basically recording or capturing the request and response for each transaction, right, or user action that we have identified here for a particular business or test scenario. Okay. So on an application, there can be multiple business scenario, and each business scenario can have multiple transactions. So that we document, and then on each business scenario, we start working on that for each transaction, and the things start with capturing of the request and response. After this recording is done, we do script preparation or enhancement. Okay, it's called a script enhancement phase, script preparation, where it's a long phase where correlation, parameterization, assertion, writing function, writing some codes if needed, test data preparations, settings, the tool. Uh, yeah, these all things are done. This tool setup can be done here also. It's part, it can be part of that as well. Right. After that, once we have done the enhancement, we do the script replay or the debugging of the script, which means that whether it is working fine or not. Right. So once that is done, then we go to step phase 4. Phase 4 is, so once that is ready, which we have discussed, then we will go to phase 4, where we do the load test. We run the test and we have the result. So here also using the tool only, we will be running the test and we'll be having the results. Once we had that, after that, we will be having the test result analysis and reporting. Means once you have the result, you have to analyze it, right? That okay, what I have found that depending on your findings uh, and the result that we get, we have to report it. Report here means again it's kind of document only. You have to keep somewhere. You have to keep the record, right? So that other people can see it, and for future use also use it should be there. So they all facility it will be inside the organization. No need to worry. They will tell you only where to keep, where we have to report, right? All those things, where the results should be kept. Every those facilities are there, right? No need to worry about it. After that, we have this page. So based on the analysis, you write your recommendations and the findings. Okay, like what you have done, what you have tested, how you have tested, right? Then what you are finding in that. Okay? What you are finding. Depending on your finding, uh, what you are recommending for the next thing, correct? Some changes. Suppose you see that okay, I have observed some you are seeing some errors. So what you want to be changed, or how you are recommending that this error should be fixed, or what recommendation you are giving that some needs to be changed so that we can look more into that. Right? So that is the recommendation. So after recommendation, suppose something gets fixed. So again, rerunning will happen. Rerunning means again rerun the test, because if there is some problem found and you are fixing it, right? So again, you have to retest now whether again that problem is happening or not. Okay. So again, the things from load test will keep on going. Again, or maybe let us say you ran for 1,000 users and you see some error, and then people all the team made that error gone, or they fixed the issue. Then again, you will run for suppose for next next for 2,000 users, right? Like that, depending on how much the user load test you are going to do. Suppose the requirement is that my application I need to test for 10,000 users. So directly you cannot test 10,000. Slowly you will start with 1,000. You see whether things are going working or not. Then you will start with 2,000. Like slowly you will increase. If there is no problem with 1,000, you will increase to 2,000, 3,000. Let us say at 3,000 you are seeing the problem. Now what is the what is the problem here, right? I mean, problem means response time. You will see it's coming high, or those errors, server related errors, right? What we have seen in one of the like here, uh, this kind of internal server error, gateway error, this all server related error is coming in your test. So this is the bottleneck. This is called a term. There is a term that is used in uh, testing world, performance, basically the bottleneck. So actually there are four words that are used in different domain of testing. So in functional testing, if there is any problem, okay, so we do not call problem or error is a problem. There is a word, technical word, we call it as a defect or bug. Same in performance testing, if there is an issue, okay, or you say a problem, right? So that word, they have a word called bottlenecks, and that is the problem there, right? Same in security testing, there is a word called vulnerabilities, right? So it means that issue. So we found that issue. So you'll fix that. Now again, the team will look into that and they will start fixing it, right? Then they will then they you will be running for. So okay, then we fix, okay, and then 3,000 users you see, okay. Now my once the things are fixed, again if you are rerunning, you see okay, response times are within the limit, right? There is no such errors. Now let us increase, because we have to make our application uh, capable of handling 10,000 users, right? So it cannot be done in just one time. Slow process. Uh, how the things happen, we'll see later on. Right? What error we find, we will see in real time also. Then what are the recommendation? How people fix it, right? All those things I'll discuss later. So like that. So that is called rerun, right? So if you see here in only phase 3 and phase 4, the real use of tool is there. Okay, any tool, whether you are using JMeter or any other performance testing tool, the real user of tool is there. First you script and then you test. And other steps are the human means the employee who is responsible for the job he is doing that work. Right? Like you got the result, then you analyze or report. So the person involved is doing it. So it's a that human intervention, and this is also that thing only, right? You will be recommending something. So human intervention. Then rerunning again the use of tool. This also a senior level people then get involved and then right. So it's also human intervention, right? So tools generally is used in this only 3 and 4 where tool comes in picture, right? Fine. Now let us understand this. So a identification and documentation of business test scenarios. So what is the scenario? See, this business test scenario has many names. It can be also called as business scenario. It can be also called as test scenario. It can be also called as business flow or user flow or user journey or user story, right? So multiple names are there. But generally we should call it a test scenario or business scenario, then it's good. And for each scenario, there will be transactions. The transactions are also called as user actions in normal world, or they can also be called as test cases or test steps. Then there will be critical scenarios, feasible and non-feasible scenario. Critical scenario means the important one. Then feasible means which can be doable, non-feasible means which cannot be doable. So now what is the meaning of scenario here, right? Or business, yeah, scenario. So scenario means see every application, first we'll understand that, then we'll understand the transactions. Because if you see here, the things start with recording the request and response of each transactions or each business scenario, right? Basic thing starts with that one. So first we have to understand, right, what is business scenario and what is transaction. So let us go and understand that. So for an e-commerce website, an example here, you can take it Flipkart, Amazon. This is a business scenario. So on any application, there will be multiple scenarios. Okay. So one scenario, let us say we have buying of product. Okay. On a e-commerce website. So and in see a scenario is a common name. Okay, given to a set of user action or transaction that user does, the real user is doing. So suppose we have a product booking means e-commerce website. So what are the major thing that any normal people know? Product booking is there, cancellation of orders are there, right? Writing reviews, simple browsing, raising a complaint, put uh, raising a return request. These are the activity a normal user does on a right on a simple e-commerce website, right? Apart from that, we are not doing anything. Okay, either we will be just simply browsing, or we will be booking a product, which is called buying, or you will be returning the product, right? Or you'll be writing a reviews to that. Correct. You will be canceling your product which you have booked. You will be issuing a refund, a request, or raising a complaint that comes in same part, right? These are things a normal user does, right? So it's a common name, right, for the functionality available there. Right? So these are called scenarios. Got the point? Same way, this kind of scenarios everywhere, even on a banking application. Main scenario on a banking is what? Transfer of the money. Okay. Money transfer. Apart from that, others are there. Adding a beneficiary, deleting a beneficiary, right? Paying of loans, credit card, paying of credit card bills, checking the balance. So this can be other scenarios also, right? Checking out transactions. Major is critical one. Critical one is very important one is the transfer of the money, right? So like that, we have many scenario. Any application you take, there is a scenario. Now scenario means the main work what the user is doing, the real user is doing. It can be, let us take a food booking website, right? So what we do generally, we browse, we search, suppose chicken biryani, then we'll get the restaurant, which restaurant will find good. We'll select that, we'll mark the order, right? So main thing we are doing what generally we are booking the food, right? And that is the whole step to book a food, right? So you got the idea, scenarios. What is the meaning of scenario, right? So every application has different scenario. On every application, there can be multiple scenario, right? Just now I said that multiple, like suppose buying a product, you are raising a complaint, you are canceling your product, you are registering your account, correct? So like this, multiple scenarios. Same way, there can be scenarios for sellers also. So for this is for normal user. Generally, most of the people are buying. So for buyers, for sellers also scenario will be there. Let us say there is some seller. Seller means those people who sell the product, right? So they will be making their account and adding a product. They will be deleting a product. They will be making changes in the product. Okay. Uh, so and then there will be scenarios for admin, the admin people of Amazon or Flipkart, where teams are there who approves the thing or who gets in contact with the seller or who see uh, the buyer's request, right? Suppose he has asked for refund or he's raising complaint, right? So these all things are there. So many scenarios are there, right? So that is called a business scenario or test scenario. Now every scenarios has to be done in some steps, right? Some steps. Those steps are technically called as transactions. Transactions. So to complete a scenario, we have to do some steps. Right? Manually, you will be doing something. The user will be doing. Those are also called as user actions. User is taking some action. Any user, right? Whether it is buyer or seller, everyone is user only for that application. So he's doing something to complete a scenario. So that is called user action in normal world. Um, Technically, it is called transactions. So let us say that suppose you want to book a product on Flipkart. What you will do? There are some steps that you will do, right? First, you will launch the website. So website came. So one step done. Then means one user action done. Understand? User is at the end of the day doing what? It's doing one action. So user action done, which is launching. Okay. Next he will search. So I'll search Dell laptop. So I'm searching a product. So next section what I'm doing is search. I did search. I got a laptop. I'll just browse them. Suppose I find some anyone which is good. Uh, then after that, suppose I like this. So I'll click on that. So click on the product or selecting the product. Like that is next transaction or next user action I did. And I like the review and other things. So I'll go and do the buy. So that is the next step or the next user action. Correct. We will fill up the login details. We'll fill up the delivery address, make the payment and all the thing. And then finally the order will be booked. So you see there are around 7-8 steps that we did. Right? The user did. So those steps are called what? User action normally. But in technical world, there will be, they are called transactions, right? So to complete every scenario, there are some transactions. Yeah, right. So every scenario, so on a business application, there can be multiple scenario, and every scenario can have, must have. Every scenario is generally they have the set of transaction or set of user action. Those user action are called transaction. Got the point? So this is what it is done here. So we identify those scenarios which needs on that application. We document them. Then we identify each transaction involving for each scenario, and that is also documented. You can also identify what are the critical scenarios there, which scenario is feasible or you will be doing, which will be not feasible, not doable, right? So that we identify, that is documented. That is what uh, test case test plan document preparation. Now, so once this is done, then start the we start using the tool, and using the tool first we do is uh, we do the recording, script recording. Generally this step is for performance testing. uh, the things generally start with recording of a script. Now what is recording? we have heard recording of video, recording of audio, but what is this recording, right? In performance testing. So recording is what? Capturing the request and response for each transaction of a particular business scenario. Suppose we have identified so many business scenarios. Now we will be working on for creating the script. Script means script means a file, or you can say uh, a set of things depending on which the tool will work. Right? Tool will tool will act. So be in like it's in terms of tool uh, understandable language, we develop a script, or in simple way you can understand you are writing a code to do your work done, right? So yeah, so here generally we do not write the code, uh, it's called a script, but it's just what the same understand for the tool, how the tool can do my that business scenario. I have to get that thing done, right? So that is called script. Okay, so that starts with, so we have multiple scenario, and we'll be starting on preparation of the script for, we'll start with any one scenario. So whatever scenario you pick, uh, right? So first thing is recording. In recording, we the record or capture the request and response for each transactions uh, or user action for that particular business or test scenario on that application on which we'll be working, right? So we will understand this request and response. To understand this, let's understand this diagram. So there is a user session. This is what I explained. We have a business scenario. Business scenario has a steps like home page, launch, search, view, add, take out. Just now I've shown one example. Whenever we do this, uh, these are called transactions. Whenever we do uh, user action or transaction, there are requests that is made to the server. In that request, the main request, HTML request is there with the embedded resources is there, and this is the server. This is how the things works, right? So that is what the capturing of uh, request and response for each transaction. The things start with that. So we have to understand. So to understand that, let us go to HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol is, in general, it's a communication protocol for web application, general, the browser and the application. Browser, you can also say that user, for mobile apps, web services, microservices. Okay, so it's a very important protocol. Right? Any user, suppose you are opening Amazon.com or Flipkart.com, directly you cannot open it. You have to use a browser, any browser, and then you are entering the home page and you are accessing that. So they are communicating, right? So this communication has to be followed, is followed with a set of rules or guideline. That is what the HTTP protocol is. Now this HTTP protocol has 5 schema or 5 components: request, response, header, request method, status code. Right? So we will start with that. So let us say I will. Before that, we will talk about a tool called a browser developer tool. Browser developer tool. So every browser has this developer tool. Any browser, okay, whether it's a Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or Safari or Internet Explorer, there is a developer tool in that. Okay, it's also called a dev tool, short form dev. So if you this is a Google Chrome, and if you right click anywhere, see this inspect, right? You just click that. When you click that, this window comes, right? This window comes. So this window is called as dev tool. Okay? Or there is shortcut also to bring this. There is shortcut to bring this is F12. Press F12. Suppose you have opened a browser and then you are on page. Then you press the F12, it will be automatically open. Either you can open up by right clicking and inspect, or if I press F12, it will open up. It's coming. Okay. Generally, for all the user, this first time initially this will be in downside. It will the presence of this it is called developer dev tool. Generally, it will be downside. Okay, first time when you do that. But let us say downside doesn't makes the thing looks good. So we can keep it sideways, left side or right side. I prefer it to keep it right side. So from three dots, you can see here, dock is there. You can move to dock to the right, right. So right inside it, right. What it does, we'll see. So there are some tabs are there, element tab, network tab, console, many things are there. Okay. Then same is there in any browser. Okay, let us say I have Mozilla Firefox here. So same here also. We have this inspect and I'll click here. So you see it came. It's downside. Here also you can move it to right. Okay. And in almost every tool, you will see this. This is same as I said, same for all the browser. All the browser have this. So only if you see the tabs name, they are also same, but the name sometimes gets changed. Like if you see in Google Chrome, this tab is called Elements tab. In Mozilla Firefox, it is called Inspector tab. Then we have Network tab. We have console is there, console, and see performance memory. They are there. Application, right? Few thing, few may be like few tabs may not be here and there, but yeah, many are common, and this is how. So this is there in every browser, and this is very useful for testers, especially for for all the testers, for automation tester as well. Yeah, think some thought. I think something happened. Fine. So this tab or this window or this tool is very important for tester. Okay, for any tester, it's very important. Generally, for automation tester, they use this tab very important because they see the code here and according to that they write X paths. Okay, the automation scripts, the Selenium with Java, Selenium with now what I'll do here some you'll see some component name like all HTML, CSS, XSR. We will go in that. We'll understand. So you see here some logs are being made. So these are called requests. You can clear them uh, by by uh, by this uh, pressing on this recycle min. Right? Let me just put initially put check mark in disable cache thing. Now, suppose I'm going to launch www.amazon. So this is, I'm going to launch the Amazon website, and this is what I'm going to do a what? A user action, right? Or technically it's called what? Transaction, correct? So I'm going to do a transaction. So I did this. Now, if you understand, every transaction or every user action on a website at the end of day is a click only. Okay, we'll just a second. So I hit that. I have written that, and I have hidden the enter button. So if you observe very minutely, anything you do on a website, it's kind of click only, or it's kind of hitting the enter button only. Okay. So what I did, I have written here and I hit the enter button. Okay. So it's a click, right? A kind of click only. We did the click. So every user action on anything is a click. We're clicking everywhere. On a mobile application, on a website, everything we are doing a click or enter stuff. So all user actions are kind of click only. Okay, fine. So let us say we have this home page. Now you see here, many things are happening. Anything happened? We in network tab we have seen many things. If I just go above, you will see this is the URL. This is called URL, right? In normal, what many people know, this is called URL, right? So I'll just capture this URL. See that. And I'll put it here. This URL in technical world is called request. Okay, this is called what? A request. Fine. And you can observe that request here also. That is network tab. Their type is of HTML. It will be also showing as an initiator called document. You can click on that also. You'll get the details. So if you click, we'll see the address. Many other things are there. We will slowly discuss about that one by one. So first, let me just copy that. Okay. Read it. I'll keep it here. Same thing. Now, I'm going to do another user action. Okay, so I'll just delete all this log. There are many other things, CSA, GIF, PNG. This we will discuss later. So first, let us understand the transaction and the request and response thing. Those are the things that we see downside. They are called embedded resources. Fine. Now I'm doing some another activity. So let us say I'm going to click on this refrigerator. I have not clicked it, but I'll click. I'll just clear this log, and I have clicked on this. Now again, you see so many activity, and so another transaction I did, another user action ID. You can see here a new URL got generated, right? But it's a URL we can say, but actually it's a request, and you can see the same reflecting here also. So generally we do not, since we are a developer, or you can say we are from IT team, like we are ITs. So this is for normal people who do not know much on that. So we'll not go here. We will focus on here. Okay. Layman users, right? For them it is there. You have to understand from here. So you see here, document type HTTP, right? Fine. And if I go and click, this is what a new request got generated. Okay. When I clicked on the fridge. Fine. Now I'll do one or two more user action. So let me clear this. Then suppose I want to buy this fridge. So I will click on that. So it's kind of selecting that. Okay. Here some calls are coming, so I'll explain these calls later. But for now, ignore. So if you see here, I'm not doing anything. Still, some request is made, so that we have to ignore. Okay. I can explain that later, but for now, just ignore it. Here you will see you are seeing the things only when we are doing something here, right? So currently you see nothing is happening. Correct. Now I'll be clicking here, and again you'll see. Wait, again that came. It has some uh, time gap. They gets called by themselves. We'll talk about that later. So see, I'm clicking on this. Okay, I clicked on that. It went to another tab. Fine, not an issue. We can just check here also. Just, here it got loaded, right? You see. So I'll just refresh it so that we will have that URL. I refreshed that. So again, if you go and scroll on top, you can see here. This one you see, get, and suppose you have a confusion trying to find that, so you can take reference of that because there are so many things are there. So you see SRF, this ref SRO, SRE1 encoding, right? So it's showing this here. There is one more way to identify that it will be showing the type HTML initiator document. Okay. It will be having some little bit huge size, more than this all. Okay. Or you can just take reference of that. So you see, I clicked on that and we see the URL. So the same URL is here one. But as I said, this is for lemons. For us, we will be learning this. So you see, one more, we got one more. Okay. Now one more last transaction. I will do one more. So suppose I want to buy it, so I'll click on add to cart or buy now, any, right? Clicking on buy now, and this page came, right? Taken, if you just scroll up, you have this page called buy now, document HTML, and then we have another request, which is two requests are there. When we clicked on buy now, see the request. This is another request. No, yeah, this is image. This is the another request. This one. You can take the reference. Open ID, it's showing here. Right? It's a little bit big one. This much big they can be. Right? No need to worry. Fine. Even if I copy here also, it will be that much big. Sometimes it becomes shortened. That's why I said, right, as a tester, we should not focus much on the above one. That is for generally lemon. But we'll see. Let me just copy that. I think it's of same length, or it is more bigger. Little bit more big. Okay. See, so generally we do not observe here, right? But this much big it is. And when we click on the details here, we see, right, how big it is. So forget about that. We no need to worry about. Do not get if you are learning, right? Do not get confused. Oh, what is this? What is it? No, we do not have to go there. Okay. No need to worry or no need to get feared of what is that. We have to just understand this concept. Okay? What are this percentile and all those things? That is not our job. Okay? So do not worry about that. What is there? Just understand the concept. So coming to the point here, understand a user action or a transaction on a web application generate HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server. Okay. And in return, server sends us the response. Got the point? Like that, there can be many transactions on an application. Obviously, there will be many transactions. So, and each transaction generates HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server. So there can be many such URL on the application, right? So that's what. Hope you got this. Every transaction on a web application or every user action on a web application generate a HTTP HTML request, right? And that's what we have seen, correct? Here also, just refresh this. We are getting that it shows, right? As it shows the type document HTML, the request, right? This is the request, you can see. Or here we just did that. Type is HTML. So what you observe that we did so many actions, we did so many transactions. Let us say we did homepage launch. So we have seen a HTTP HTML request getting generated to the server. When it is going to the server, right? When it is going to the server, then from the server, this response is coming. Or when the first time you are launching the Amazon.com, www.amazon.com. So this request is going, right? And in return, the server sends us the response, right? And we see this page, correct? Or let us say if I am clicking on anywhere, I'll click on this, right? So again, one more request will be generated. And again, we will see the response related to that request. So this is how the things work, right? So any user action or any transaction you do on an web application, right? That is access to web. There is a request generated. Okay? There is a request generated. That request in normal world, people call it as a URL, but technically it is a HTTP HTML request generated that goes to the server, and in return, server sends us the response. So on an application, there can be many transactions, right? And each transaction will have will generate the HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server, and hence to do a particular scenario, we have so many transactions, right? Suppose product booking. So there is many user action or so many transactions involved in that, right? 5 to 6 or 10, 12 transactions are there. And each transaction have some request when we do that, right? Right? Hope you understand. Only I launched this, I did homepage launch. So we did. Then I clicked on, I think, fridge, right? Search the fridge. And one another transaction, one transaction, one transaction. This is T2. We selected one fridge, so we clicked on that. That is called selection. And then we clicked on buy. So there were two requests, and it's a third transaction you can see, right? So whenever we are doing a transaction or whenever we are doing a user action is normal word, transaction is a technical word. Okay. So on a website, everything you do is a click, or everything user is doing, that is called a user action, and user action at the end of the day is click only. Click is technically called a transaction, and when you are doing a transaction, what happens? A request is generated. So for every transaction, there can be one request, or sometimes there can be multiple requests. Okay, means more than one, right? That depends on application to application. No need to worry about, right? So that is the thing. So I open the home page. We see this request, HTTP HTML request. Then I clicked on refrigerator. So we see this request, and we got the response where we got all the refrigerator list. Then, right, that is another transaction we did, and another request got generated. Then from that we choose, or you can say clicking is also a choosing only, because you have, it's like you are given an option and you have to choose and send it back to the server, right? So the red one, we clicked on that. When we clicked on that, that is a user action or another transaction we did, and again another request got generated, you see, and we got a reference response related to that. Then we clicked on buy now somewhere. So when we clicked on buy now, so that was the next transaction we did, and then two requests got generated related to that, right? So that is the concept. Okay. Whenever we do a user action or transaction, at the end of the day, you'll see that for every transaction, there will be one request getting generated, or there can be multiple also. There will be generated, right? These requests are type called HTTP HTML type. Okay. People call them URL, that is for normal people, but technically these are called requests, right? Request. So every user action will be having a request, right? Or a set of like 2 or more requests, so multiple requests are getting. Now in this, if you observe, this part remains same. So this is called protocol. That is what protocol is. Then if you observe this part, which remains same, this is called application name or domain name, right? Application name or domain name or server name, domain name, application name or server name, fine. Then after that, whatever the thing that gets changed on every transaction we are doing, the things is getting changed, right? You see, this is called path. This is called what? Path. Okay. Again, there are more segregation in that. No need to go in that much detail, but and this is called path. And this is not only for this website. You do anything on any website, you will observe this thing happening. Right? It's everywhere. I'll just quickly show you and then we'll push. So I'll take suppose uh, clear this. You see, again, Naukri.com, 2 requests are there, HTTP and ST. Okay. We'll talk about the 2 requests, another thing. One is 301 redirecting, and this is the. So you can click here, request, and another one is here, and then we see this website, right? This Naukri page. Also, understand this response always comes in code format. So that I'll talk later. We have this response, which you see is in code format. So we'll see later this concept. Fine. Now one more. Let me quickly do one more transaction. So suppose I will click on software thing. I do that. Uh, okay, it went to another page. Not an issue. We will just inspect. Means it went to another tab. So in nowadays in website, people are designing like that only. That new tab will open. So that is not a problem. Suppose you forgot, you missed the transaction, right? Or that request for that transaction, you can always go and just refresh this, and you will get that URL and all those details, right? Only thing, just make sure that your cache should be disabled. So you can see, this is the request, right? You can click here. If you want to match, you can match also. A little bit it will be matching. And again, response came here. That response always been code format, but because of the browser, we see this page beautifully. Right? Again, same way. Suppose I want to have this, I'll be clicking on this. So I have one more request, and we'll get a response. Right? So you got the idea. So that is transaction. That is user action. That is request, and that is response. Right? So that is for today. Tomorrow again, not tomorrow, Monday I think. We'll go a little bit more in details. We'll try to understand this non-HTML responses. Then again, this request response header, that is divided into two parts: request body, response body. Okay, we'll see. Then we'll talk about the methods, right? Method are there. So as I said, a HTTP schema has total 5 request, response, header, method, status code. Right? We'll understand that. Then we'll understand about cache or cookies. Right here, I am saying here a thing is there. Cache. What is that? Or cookies. Right. Cache thing generally it's useful when you are doing UI testing. Right. A pure UI testing. So these things are there. We have to understand that. We'll be talking about that slowly. So for now today, what we understood this. A request response, right? A transaction generates a HTTP HTML request. How to identify that, right? So this is the URL architecture which I was explaining. The HTTP, the domain name or the application name, and after that, whatever the thing is called, it's called path. Actually, there is more segregation of that, but no need to go in that much detail. Forget about. You have to just consider whatever the thing is there after domain on the right hand side as as path, and this path changes for every action. It changes. It changes. Right. Fine. So, any questions you have?
Sir, the request, what we are sending, these are the APIs.
They are also called as API endpoints, API call. You can call them anything. Right. This requests are called calls APIs endpoint.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So no question.